Good day, I am Carlos, a trainer with SAS Australia. This is one of a series of videos from a webinar I delivered a while ago on how to take your visual analytics reports to the next level. I hope you enjoy them. First step, or the first thing we're going to look into, is preparation. Preparation involves having clarity on the audience and the message of the report, which will lead to our first draft. Knowing the audience helps you create a more effective report that will engage them, reduce confusion, and enable them to more easily understand and analyze the information that you're presenting. So if your audience consists on distinct groups, you might want to consider individual requirements and constraints before, so you can meet everyone's expectations. So for example, if you have data scientists in your audience, you may know that they may want to explore the data. If you have business analysts, and maybe they want to see different views of the data by year. If you have new employees, they might benefit from the meaning of different terms. And then executives may just be scanning the report, but then looking for who to contact for additional information. And then you have your researchers, maybe they want to filter the data in multiple ways. So depending on the audience, you might need to know their interests, and knowing their interests will help you determine the viewpoint of what you should present, the level of detail that is needed in the report, and then also the amount of background and supplemental information that you provide. So, for example, if your audience are statisticians, you might use models, you might use advanced analytics. For this audience, maybe those models will be self-explanatory, so maybe you don't need to include a lot of detail. You might not need to include information about how the model works or the purpose of the model. But then on the other hand, if you're building a report for general audience, you might want to use maybe simpler graphs that are easier to understand, easier to interpret. And then on top of that, you might want to include additional instructions, explanatory text, to explain the purpose and the use of the report and of the different parts of the report. Then, depending on your audience, maybe you want to give them more or less capabilities on modifying the report. So for example, for some, you might only want to give simple options of sorting. For some of them, you might want to give them options to change the report objects. And then for some others, they may have options in the report to change the data that's used. And of course, in Visual Analytics, you can control this level of modification by setting the customization level.